We begin this half hour with breaking news. We're looking at a deadly crash on the QEW. This is in St. Catharines in the Toronto-bound lanes at Niagara Street. For more on this, we're joined live by OPP Sergeant Carrie Schmidt. Sergeant, thanks so much for being here. Walk our viewers through what's going on right now. What happened in this crash?
Well, we have both directions of the QEW closed right now between Niagara Street and Glendale, involving the Garden City Skyway just here in St. Catharines. Just before 12 o'clock this morning, there was a pickup truck that was traveling Fort Erie bound towards Niagara Falls, approaching the Garden City Skyway, when one of the wheels came off. The front steering axle of this pickup truck came off that vehicle, bounced over into the Toronto-bound lanes of the QEW, impacting a vehicle. That tire then ricocheted up over the wall into the city, into St. Catharines, behind the highway. The two occupants in the vehicle that were struck, the driver pronounced deceased at the scene as the tire entered the vehicle. The passenger of that vehicle taken to hospital right now with relatively minor injuries. We're doing a full inspection right now. Actually, behind me, you can see the pickup truck that lost its wheel. That vehicle is being inspected at this time to see what the contributing factors were in this crash. And we do have investigators looking at the other wheels as well. And again, just another safety reminder that anytime you do maintenance, anytime there is work done on your vehicle, it has to be done safely and properly. And the consequences of a wheel separation could be deadly, just like it was here this morning.
Certainly when something like this happens, Carrie, I mean, all of us can't help but think that could be me. I mean, it's one of those almost, freak incidents where you're driving on the highway and obviously a tire came towards this vehicle in particular. Do you have any more information on the two people who were in that vehicle struck? You mentioned the driver deceased, the passenger injured. Are they adults? Are they males, females? Are they members of a family?
Yeah, my understanding is that two males in the vehicle that was traveling towards Toronto, both the U.S. citizens or from America, a 53 and a 52-year-old males that were both in that vehicle. The driver, the 53-year-old, pronounced deceased. The vehicle traveling in the opposite direction also happened to be from the United States. It was traveling towards Fort Erie. No injuries to that driver. I don't have his age, an adult male driving that vehicle by himself. And obviously, we're working on notifying family and next of kin, regarding this tragedy by speaking with the passenger who remains in hospital right now, but at least is able to communicate with us and to give us some information as to, locating next of kin. So we do have some challenges up ahead, and we are obviously appealing for any witnesses. So if there was anyone traveling in this area, to call the OPP and let them know saw. But at this point, it is an absolute tragedy, and there's nothing really drivers can do. It just happens so quickly, and you really have no time to react. Seeing something coming at you, at twice the speed limit as you're closing in is such a challenge, and really there is no opportunity for this driver to react in time to avoid a collision.
Certainly just an awful scenario. Carrie, you mentioned Americans. Did they just cross the Canada-U.S. border into this country bound, Toronto-bound, essentially?
Yeah, I don't know at this time. Obviously, that's going to be part of our investigation or follow-up to see what the circumstances were that led this vehicle to be traveling eastbound, the other vehicle be traveling westbound, and whether or not they were coming from the border or going right back to the border. I just know they were both vehicles were registered in the United States, and all three people involved in the situation were Americans.
Carrie, just to Sergeant Schmidt, just to reiterate, what is the process now for the investigation? How do you look into whether the driver of that pickup truck is culpable in any way for this wheel becoming detached from their vehicle?
Well, that's going to be the maintenance issue that we're dealing with right now, to see whether or not there was any defects or other defects that can be identified, or we can show some lack of maintenance on the vehicle. And that's all part of the ongoing investigation. So we have forensic examinations happening right now by mechanics looking at that pickup truck, and then, of course, appealing to witnesses and anyone else that can provide information in this investigation. So a lot of work being done right now. You can see investigators mapping the collision scene behind me. Once we get that evidence evidence collected, we'll get the vehicles removed, working with the coroner to have the deceased taken as well for a postmortem examination, and then we'll get the highways reopened. But it could still be several hours before we get all lanes reopened.
And that's my next question. Certainly rush hour is approaching. Obviously, the Burlington Skyway, that stretch of the QEW, busy any time of day, but especially as people start the commute home in the afternoon. How many hours are you expecting, Sergeant Schmidt, that this closure is going to take? And what are some of the detours that you'd like people to consider at this point?
Well, it could take several more hours. Right now, Niagara Street, if you're coming Fort Erie bound on the QEW, you're going to be forced off at Niagara Street. You can continue on that off-ramp to Dunkirk, take Dunkirk all the way back onto the QEW. You can ramp back onto the QEW just before the Garden City Skyway and continue on your way. If you're traveling Toronto bound, you'll be forced off at Glendale, just east of us right now, and you'll have to take one of the side roads to get Kerwin, I think it is, that will take you, Dieppe, I'm sorry, you'll take Dieppe Road back onto Niagara Street, and you can get back on there as well. But again, heavy delays. You're probably not going to want to wait until the last opportunity where you get pushed off. If you can exit before that, you won't get stuck in that congestion and find your way around. But because of the Welland Canal, there's not a lot of access points to cross. So this is a very busy route, and we understand the importance and priority of getting these lanes reopened. So we're going to do it as quickly as we can, but there will certainly be headaches and frustration for motorists as they're trying to get their way through St. Catharines at this hour. Final
question for you, Sergeant. The initial video put out by one of your colleagues on social media indicated 2 vehicles were struck by this flying wheel. Is it your understanding now it was just that one vehicle with the deceased 53-year-old man and the 54-year-old passenger that was struck by this flying wheel?
That's right. Yeah, only one vehicle that was struck as the vehicle was traveling Toronto bound, struck by that flying wheel. That tire then ricocheted off. No other vehicles involved, just the vehicle that lost its wheel and the vehicle that was struck.
Okay. OPP Sergeant Carey Schmidt, thanks so much for bringing the very latest on this just awful tragedy to our viewers. Thank you for this.